You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. And that's a quote by Mae West. If you don't know who she is, you need to Google her and go to YouTube and watch her. Because she would have said, "Oh, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough." Oh, I did that pretty good. So she's been on Turner Classics lately, and oh my gosh. Anyway, hello. Thank you for joining me on the Profitable Photographer. I don't know if you're listening to this in season, but summer is almost here, and in San Diego, that is a pretty cool thing. So, uh, here we come, sunshine and beautiful late evening light. So, I want to tell you a little about Miss Jenny Gage,
Gay.
Gegg. I should have asked you before we got
That's
started.
okay.
Just like it Gegg, Gegg.
Yep. Hmm.
Oh, big whoop. Okay, she's a classically trained photographer, which means she knows her way around a darkroom, but embraced the digital age with open arms. And now she uses her Bachelor of Science in Photography degree. It said BS, but I wanted to make sure
That's
people
what it
knew.
amounts to now. It's just BS now.
She's also a professional certified photographer, PPC, with PPA, and has her craftsman, and 26 years photographing. Her goal is to create artistic images of the highest quality for her clients. And she loves weddings. Oh my gosh, 26 in, and she never hit the wall like some people do. Um, she says, and I fully understand that it is the best day of their life, and she gets to witness it. I don't know about her, but I have cried many a times watching the brides and grooms take their vows, so I get that. She also loves to be at home with her cats, three, a dog. Oh, and she says, "Oh yeah, that's right," and a husband and two kids. But she likes to go to Tanzania where she leads photographers on safari adventures. Wow. So welcome, 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 Miss Jenny.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure. And my first impression is she's a very fun and cool girl. So um,
Well,
that makes
thanks.
it extra fun. Do you think
Yeah.
that's true?
I hear that a lot, so I
Yeah.
guess I'll buy into it.
Yeah. Okay. So you, I got some of your background. You actually went to school for photography.
I did, yeah. I
Uh,
have
how did that?
commercial, yeah. I have a commercial and portrait photography degree, Bachelor's of Science from, let's see, now it's called the University of Central Missouri. It
Mhm.
was Central Missouri State University when I went there. Um, Back in the olden days when you had to know what you were doing. So if you ever want to discuss the like layers of film and what silver and all the chemicals and the chemical reactions, I remember a small amount.
Yeah, I took a class with Frank Cricchio, who I don't know if you've ever heard his name. Besides
Mm-mm.
being a photographer, he was very instrumental in the science of photography
Ah,
and worked with Kodak. And so he gave us a lot of those things. What the one piece that I took away when shooting film was that um, print film had four stops of light latitude overexposed. You could still get a good shot, but
yep,
even half a stop and it was muddy.
yep,
And that then my next event, he also showed how if you overexposed it just slightly, you got more details in the blacks and then they could print for the highlights. So a
yeah.
week of class. So anyway, I just thought I'd pass that on in case people are having fun using film again. Anyway, I don't know why I said all of that, but
I mean, it is fun. I was actually just talking to my son about it because he was asking about getting into the darkroom area. And said, I just wish it wasn't like such a process to
Huh?
set all that stuff up again
Yeah.
because, I would love to get back into black, especially black and white dark rooms because
Mhm.
that's,
So for people that have never done it, what's the fun of it?
um, I think because you actually have to know what you're doing. So
Mhm.
like it's I know like with digital it's you can see right away that you know what you're doing, but there's like that buildup of anticipation and then when you see the image appear on the paper and you're like, okay, I actually did do that. Like I did do it. I don't know. And you can tell the difference if you look really closely at the
Mhm.
difference between a digital print and the black and white
Mhm.
negative print. I mean, there's a sharpness there that's a little bit different.
Yeah. There must be something addictive about it because I remember going in the dark room, uh, let's say on a Saturday when I wasn't working at like 10 in the morning and
Uh-huh.
coming out and it was dark.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And I was just having fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. And they smell. I love the smell of the chemicals. Like
Yes. Like Apocalypse Now. I love the smell of what Fixer in the morning.
yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I say if they make a cologne of Fixer, oh my gosh, I would be the first one in line.
And so those cups that look like the my favorite lens 24 to 105
Yeah.
f4 that are cups, we could make the bottles uh, a fixer look just the same. So yeah,
Uh,
we got a whole new industry starting here.
yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. So let's get down to business. Um, you love weddings
I do
and
love weddings.
you make them easy and fun. So let's talk about because one of the things that we say a lot is weddings are really hard and they can be not fun. There's you're on adrenaline for 7 to 12 hours and everything has to go right or the world ends as we know it. So tell me a little about the fun of weddings.
Well, I think that when you approach weddings more as a customer service experience versus as a photographer. I mean, the photography, don't get me wrong, very important. It's very important because it's the only, you can't recreate it, so you can't
Mhm.
mess it up. So I wouldn't suggest that people take on weddings until they've second shot several weddings. They have a solid backup system in place already before they take on the wedding and all of that. Like cover your bases. But when people look back at the pictures, they remember how you made them feel the entire time. And that reflects how they look at the pictures. So if you made them feel rushed and like, oh, this isn't going well, or you say anything like that, then they are automatically going to look at the pictures with a tainted lens. Versus if you have fun and relax and like never feel stressed out about it and make them stop and enjoy their day and help them enjoy their day, it goes a lot smoother. And then when they look at the pictures, they're already excited because they had such a good experience. So doing just the smallest things to help them enjoy it, like making sure that you have time in the timeline and you don't feel stressed. I carry literally one of everything in my camera bag. I have a think
Okay,
tank roller bag. Oh,
so I was starting to make those little bullet points.
oh yeah,
So, time in the timeline. So, let's
yes.
talk more about that. What do you mean by that?
Well, no wedding ever goes on schedule. So if you think you need half an hour for the wedding party pictures, have the half an hour, but build in 10 minutes before or 10 minutes after,
Hmm.
before the next thing starts. Just so that way, if in the end you are giving them 30 minutes extra time before the ceremony starts or before the next part starts, it gives them the opportunity to stop and enjoy each other. And sometimes we make sure that we pull the bride and groom away from everyone else and just give them 5 to 10 minutes alone.
Hmm.
That's one thing that couples don't get on their wedding day, which is
Hmm.
crazy to think about. It's your wedding day, like it's all about the two of you, but then they never have time alone.
Right. One of the reasons I'm a big advocate of, and I'm so happy that the first look thing has become a thing,
Yes.
because I would start like 2 or 3 hours before with the
Mhm.
bride and groom, and they would have time without people photographing them,
Yeah.
where he could say how beautiful she looks and
Yes.
could hug, and they could have some quality time. And then the wedding party comes and starts to have fun with them, and then
Yep.
immediate family, and then they rest for a bit so that they're focused on the day. And I know this isn't my, uh, I'm interviewing you, but I'm on the same page with you. Is um, I one of my guilty pleasures is watching 90 Day Fiance. You watch that?
I haven't watched that one, but I am obsessed with watching Married at First Sight and Love is Blind, like
Okay.
all of those. Yes. Hmm.
Okay. So this week, all the couples are getting married. And one of them freaked out because he put on the invitation the wedding at 6 o'clock was the time. And he's like, but the wedding's going to start at 6. And, that's where okay, so if the wedding starts at 6:30 because people arrive at 6 and they needed to get settled,
Hmm.
that's, in my experience, that's pretty normal. Do you have thoughts on actual timelines and how
Yeah.
the other tips?
Yeah, that's the other thing is like you have to be a little bit flexible with the timeline. So have prepared in your mind that between, say, like if it's like a 4 o'clock ceremony, I'm just gonna throw a time out there. If it's a 4 o'clock ceremony from like 1 to 3, I want to get this, and this, like the detail shots, the bride getting dressed, the groom getting dressed, and maybe some wedding party pictures. Like that's what we're going to get done between those two timelines, between those. And then if the groom's running behind or the bride's running behind, you can fill in with the other items and not you're just don't stick like if you're saying, well, from 1 to 2, we were going to do the bride, and then from 2 to 3, we're going to do the wedding party pictures. Like if that's not the way that it's coming together, you have to be flexible. So
Hmm.
just know that you have from this time to get all of your things done and be flexible about in the order in which you do it.
Right. So have a plan
Right.
and then know that plans don't always go the way
Yes.
you think. So have other things that you're
Yeah.
doing while you're, let's say, waiting
Mhm.
for the bride to get her
And if you
done or
can, if
something.
they, I think the most common thing to have happen is brides are running behind because hair and makeup is running
Mhm.
behind. So you don't want to be standing there just with your arms crossed waiting. So even if there's nothing else for you to do, I often like ask the hairdresser, like, how much longer do you expect? Are you expecting? Is it going to be another 10 minutes, another 15? And so then, even if I don't have anything else to do, I'm going to tell the bride, I'm going to go get some of the detail shots of the church and walk out. So she's not feeling the stress of you
Hmm.
just standing there waiting for her to be ready. Because then she's going to start to be panicked, like, oh, I'm not going to be ready. Like, we're falling behind on time and I'm supposed to be doing something. So even if it's something like that, just go and sit in the church or go
Mm.
sit
Oh,
somewhere for a hot second, 5 minutes, so
so,
she's not panicked.
so what I'm hearing in that is have an easy breezy attitude
Yes.
so that you're not the person that's putting more stress on the
Right.
bride. Help
Right.
her,
Hmm.
feel calm and not feel like, because it's so
Yeah.
easy for brides to think they're in trouble if they're picking up that
Right.
someone's not doing what they're supposed to do. So yeah, I love that. One little tip, and you might do this in my schedule because I would fill out a timeline. I
Hmm.
would tell them the two vendors that slow things down consistently are the florist and the hair and makeup person.
Yeah.
So tell them you need it an hour earlier
Mhm.
than you do,
Yeah.
because th- then if they're fast, you've got a little more cushion.
Yeah.
If not, we're not in a panic. So I love that. All
Yep. I
right.
tell I tell
Go
them
ahead.
the same thing with the groomsmen. I'm like, you know your wedding party, so if you need to tell them that they need to be there at 12:30 when our actual start time is 2:30, you
Mhm.
tell them what you need to tell them. And if they're just sitting around, that's fine. That's better than them being late.
Right, right. I, again, I would tell them, first of all, I would tell them a half hour before to be there, half hour before I knew I really needed them. But because I didn't just let people uh like book me for the whole day, and
Mhm.
I can only do so much in a certain amount of time, and if I'm cut short at the beginning, then I'm going to have more time. And so I tell them to threaten their wedding party that if you're late and I'm charged overtime, I'm going to make you pay for it.
Oh,
But
that's a
in
good
a
idea.
really fun, friendly
Yeah.
way, not like, but it's just like,
Yeah.
here's a little tip. Tell them that if they're late, you may have to pay overtime and they're going to have to pay it. So,
That
and
is a good idea.
yeah, when you do 500 weddings, you've probably done a lot more than that at this point, but you come up with solutions.
Right. Exactly. You figure out the little tips to say and the little, yes, exactly.
Do you have wedding nightmares where you show up and the wedding's just over, or you're not wearing clothes, or
Uh-huh.
you forgot to
Um,
pack your
yeah,
camera?
I do. I don't have as many as I used to, which is making me a little nervous. I've always said like when I stop being nervous for the day of is the
Mm,
day I need to stop doing it.
mm,
Because if you don't have a little bit of nervousness about it, then you're not going to pay attention to make sure that you got everything perfect.
absolutely. I find that the shoots, whether it was weddings or portraits, the ones where I felt the most like, oh, cool,
Yeah,
without that little bit of edge, either I didn't do my best or like I forgot things, or
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Is that a tip?
that is I guess that is a tip. Yeah. If you're not feeling
Okay.
I mean, like again, with weddings, it's so much that it's you the only day, the only time that you can create this and capture this for them. So if you're not 100% in it and you're not interested in it, don't do it. Like, don't just do weddings because it's a moneymaker or whatever. Like,
Hmm.
I think that's it. Is like I am really excited for every single one of my couples,
Hmm.
and I think it shows.
Yes.
So then they feed off that same energy, and so if you don't bring that energy and you're not excited for them, then I don't know that you should be doing weddings.
Right. Fully agree with that. And just had this thought pop in my mind. That's going to get you more referrals.
Oh yeah.
It's going to make the DJs and the videographers and
Mm-hmm.
all the people that are there on the day be like, oh my gosh, Jenny, she's so awesome. She's chill, but she's excited, and um, yeah, you become a
Yeah,
magnet for success when you're doing it from joy, and people can
exactly.
feel that.
Exactly.
Is there another hot tip to make it fun,
Oh, to make it fun.
fun or easy?
I
Or
think that the and I know not everyone is does this in a super easy way. It doesn't come naturally to everyone, but to make little jokes, especially when you're with just the groomsmen, to get them on your side as fast as possible really helps. So whether that's just like dropping a really bad dad joke or you can read your crowd pretty quickly. I have not been afraid to drop a that's what she said pretty quickly because then they're on your side. So if you get the groomsmen on your side, because here's what happens is the bridesmaids are beautiful, but they're working hard to look that beautiful. And the groomsmen are just there to like show up and drink beer and whatever,
Mhm.
it's how it is here in the Midwest, at least. So the bridesmaids won't be able to relax until the wedding's over and they don't have to stand up in front of everyone because they're really worried about looking good, which I appreciate.
Hmm.
So you can get them on your side pretty easily just by letting them know how beautiful they look. But the groomsmen are hard not to crack it, but you need them on your side. So I crack jokes with them pretty quickly so they know like we're gonna have some fun. It's not all serious.
Hmm.
I
And
think letting them know that it's a fun time.
um, do you bring an assistant?
I try to bring an assistant because I'm getting old.
Mm.
And I don't want to carry my equipment
Yeah.
anymore. So, and then what's nice is all of my assistants. So I don't bring a second shooter most of the time because I don't want to pay for it and or my packages don't include it. I do have one package that includes a second shooter, so if someone wants it, they can have it.
Hmm.
But you don't really need a second shooter all the time. And my assistant, I can hand a camera to, and she can go and take the pictures. Like I hire people that are most of the time they're high school girls
Hmm.
that just want a fun job to have on the weekend, and they are interested in photography or in art of some kind, and they already understand how a camera works. So I hire them, um, and I can hand them a camera to get those second angles, like when we're doing first look, or if I want someone up in the sanctuary while I'm doing the processional. I mean, not sanctuary, but the balcony in the sanctuary. While I'm
Hmm.
doing the processional, I can get those two different views going without a problem. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
totally agree about letting someone else carry your stuff. Um, when when I see people like, I need some camera straps where I can hold two cameras and three lenses. What do you recommend? And I say a camera bag and a friend. Because as we're getting older, that our joints are not made for carrying
no,
things like that, especially as women.
yeah,
I mean, I do know a lot of my guy friends that I've known a long time in this industry getting hip and knee replacements, but
uh-huh.
um, yeah. So
Yeah.
when I discovered this really sturdy wheelie cart with straps that I could
Oh, nice.
strap my camera bags and things on, it was like, oh, now I get it why the invention of the wheel was such a miracle.
I met someone at Imaging. Oh, I don't know, maybe like 8, 9 years ago, and I was looking at the spider holsters
Hmm.
and this guy, this photographer walked by and he said, I just had to have my second shoulder surgery from carrying cameras on my shoulders. He said, I can't tell you to buy this quick enough. And he's right. Because
Ah,
I carry two cameras and they're always right there. And I love it. It makes it a little bit more challenging to get through small, tightly packed reception venues, but
mhm.
I won't give it up because it
Hmm.
has saved my back and my
Oh,
shoulders so
interesting.
much.
Yeah. So instead of that, I have a helper.
Yeah.
Always.
Well,
And
yeah, and then yeah, my helper carries my camera bag, and then if I need lights and all of that. But she also carries the bride's dress, so I don't have to take because that's this will be another hot tip for you.
okay, number
Um,
7, hot tip.
I don't allow anyone else to be there when we're doing the bride and groom portraits. So that's what another reason why I like to bring an assistant is she can carry the bride's dress, she can carry the flowers, she can hold things as needed, and she can help adjust everything without having to take the maid of honor or a personal assistant or personal attendant. I mean, personal
Mhm.
attendant. Because no one acts like themselves when someone else is watching.
Mhm.
And it's already hard enough that we have a camera in your face and probably a video camera in your face. We don't need to have your best friend or some random groomsman in the background hooting and hollering and like, get a room, like.
Right. Right.
So I'm very strict about that. And I'm also very strict that not another person can be around during the first look. The first look is another time that another person, no one else is allowed to be there except for the videographer and I. And once the initial first look is done, the videographer and I will always leave
Hmm.
so they can have the rest of it as a private moment.
So why is that?
Just because they don't get private moments. And I
Hmm.
think that's one of the few times that's should be for them.
Hmm.
Um,
So,
and then they don't need me in their face rushing them around. We always just start it before they see each other. Like, we're gonna record the moment and then we're gonna slide out. You won't see us for 5 minutes and then we'll come back. Just so you know, you have 5 minutes by yourself.
so how many of your couples agree to a first look?
You know what? It's getting less. It
Really?
was getting more, and now it's going back to getting less.
Hmm.
But we have a lot of Catholic weddings. And so Catholic weddings have to be at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hmm.
So then there's this big gap until the dinner starts at 5. And I don't know if it's the same in California, but our receptions go to like 1 in the morning.
Um, if it starts at 5, it really depends. I'd say the average wedding for the average guests is about 3 to 4 hours. Unless, and I could be wrong because I didn't stay for the whole thing.
Great.
Generally, I do it until the garter and bouquet, and I would, but it seems like at about 2.5, 3 hours, the older guests kind of want to get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then depends on if they're dancers
Yeah.
and things, they might dance into the night, and if they have a fun little send off,
Yeah.
that's uh, that's always tricky if they have a nice limo or if they're doing sparklers and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do now because that seems to be more popular than it
Yeah. They're not
used to
doing
be.
those as much.
No?
I mean, like, we're not seeing as many. If we do, I guess if we do a sparkler exit, we stage it before the photo team leaves.
Oh, oh.
But most of our weddings, yeah, the receptions go to like at least 11
Hmm.
or midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning if
Yeah.
they're big partiers, because we
Yeah.
do a lot of small town. And when you live in a small town, you invite the entire town.
Ah, yeah.
So it's, I'm not there. I'm with you. The bouquet garter toss, you don't need much past that. Like, and actually, I'm not seeing very many bouquet garter tosses this year, which I'm kind of
Oh,
okay with.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always, because I don't sell digitals as the only thing with a wedding.
Hmm.
The portraits I don't at all. Um, but I'm looking for that album.
Yeah.
And so if I'm just taking a whole bunch of stuff, I know it's not going in the album.
Right.
People don't people don't look that great either, just standing around mingling or like once
Yep.
you get some fun dancing,
Hmm. It's good.
that's good. But
Yep.
now, I'm thinking of all these little things that it used to happen. So one of my tips when brides say, "Oh, I want all the tables." Do you get that? Where people want all each
So you know
at
what we've
table
done?
photograph.
We have started doing a thing where we call, I think technically the DJs are calling it a photo dash, but the bride and groom have to run around and take a picture with every table, and they have to do it before a song's over. So there's no stopping and chit-chatting. We're just running around, and so the DJ will have half the table get up and stand on the other side. So we say everyone that's on the north side of the table, stand up and go and stand on the south side, and then the bride and groom run up and take a picture, and then they run to the next table and take a picture, and then that way the bride and groom get a picture with every single person at the wedding,
Hmm.
and it takes 4 minutes.
What if people are not at the table at that point? Is there a
Oh, we do it like right after, right before, they either do it right before the toast starts or right after the toast, so everyone's still there from dinner.
okay.
Yeah, so it's before people have started to get up and run around.
That's brilliant because in my experience, well, it's brilliant. And at the same time, because I don't sell, like I'm looking for what they're going to actually purchase and put in the
Hmm.
book. It's a lot of work for it to not, they're not going to put 12 images in their books of people at
Right.
tables generally. But what I would do, so I guess I'm speaking to people who, like me, maybe there's an album
Hmm.
at the start that includes 60 prints and then they can add what they want. Um, I ask them to tell me which tables are important because when I photograph those, they're automatically going in the album.
Sure. Yeah.
Any table. So if I do 12 tables, that's basically four spreads. Uh, and, that can be $500.
Yeah.
So that gets them thinking about what do I really care about? Because it's a pain in the tushy for the guests and me to get half the room and grandma half and
Yeah.
but I love what's happening that resolves that is because then you get that energy and it's a bride and groom that
Uh-huh.
puts it in. It's not the guests that are like, oh God. Um,
Yeah.
so that definitely comes under your category of make it fun because
Right. Yes.
that sounds a lot more fun.
It is pretty fun.
And the expectation is that it wouldn't be perfect either. Oh, so
Yeah.
and so's blinking or he's looking away. That's
Hmm.
that's okay, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what happens.
yeah. Okay. Any other, so making it fun and easy. Any
Hmm.
other tips to make
Oh
it?
yeah, I have a ton. One thing that I also do is I carry tiny scissors on my person, on my body, all the time.
Mm,
Because there's nothing that you can be Johnny on the spot for quicker than a pair of scissors,
mm,
especially during getting ready. But all throughout, I mean, like I've been cutting things off people all day long. You know what I'm saying? Just strings and this and that. And it just, what it makes it look like is that you know what you're doing and
yeah.
it gives confidence. And then there, someone's always like, where's a pair of scissors? Does someone have scissors? And then you have the scissors. I also have a ton of safety pins. I have black thread. I have white thread. I have needles. I have a first aid kit. I have shout wipes. I have jewelry cleaner. I have eyelash glue. I have, I'm trying to think of all the stuff I have in my bag. I have a lighter. I have just anything that you can think of could possibly ever need. I have Tums in my camera bag, sometimes
Mm.
for me, sometimes for the wedding party, you
Uh-huh.
know. But what that does is as soon as you hear someone say, I need this, and if you can be the one that has it, they're like, oh my God, you're so great. Like you've been here, you've helped us out. Like I can't thank you enough for being here to help me do this. And what did I do? Like I gave her a safety pin, like
Mhm.
it's such a small investment on my part
Right, right.
to be the one for her.
Yes. So that kind of goes back to the start in a way of like being the friend, being fun, being the hero, being focused on them.
Hmm.
Um, I, so yeah, I love that. And one of the things I'm sure you do that I've done is review every wedding and think about are there things that went right that I need to be sure to do again,
Hmm.
like pictures of grandparents. I learned at a
Yep.
certain point they always sell.
Hmm.
Getting the grandparents by themselves
Yep.
together or just the grandma. Um, and then think about what, in the category of needs to improve, like on
Yeah.
report cards, how can we solve that issue? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one of the great things about having an assistant is if there's something that I'm like, oh, we need to add this, I just tell her and she sends me a text. So then at the end of the night, I can
Mm.
go through and be like, okay, what did I need? What did I tell her? Because I don't always remember and I just mouth something off to her and she sends it off to me. So that helps a lot. And oh, okay, are you ready for the next point or do I need to pause?
I'm ready, ready, ready. Number 10.
Okay. I just thought of one. Well, it's a combination, but being attentive to the bride's needs. So one thing that I started doing about 10 years ago is carrying the bride's plate through the buffet line.
Oh,
So I meet her at the buffet line, like they say the grace or whatever, and then the bride and groom get dismissed to the buffet line. Um, and I meet her there and I say, I'm going to carry your plate for you. So you don't have to worry about spilling. You don't have to worry about walking in this dress that maybe now is bustled and it's kind of hard to, she's taking her shoes off. So she's tripping all over it, anything like that. She puts her own food on the plate. I'm not serving her. I'm just carrying it. And then I carry
ah,
it back to the table for her. And then as soon as she and the groom sit down, I say, do you need something to drink? Can I get you some water? Or if I know that they have an open bar, what would you like from the bar? And I get that for them. So then they don't have to get up. And again, what else am I doing during that time? Nothing. Everyone's eating, so you're not taking any pictures.
right.
So I like it's a very quick, easy way to keep them knowing that you're thinking about them, not just focused on being a photographer. And so I have a lot of bridesmaids that say things like, wow, I've never seen a photographer do something like that before. And then guess what? Who's getting married? Who do brides know? They know other brides, right? So, I mean, I often am doing a wedding and then you look down the wedding party and I've done at least one of their weddings
Mhm.
because that's how quickly it spreads. Like when you just give that little bit of extra touch,
Mhm.
it is what it takes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was in a Filipino group uh,
Mm-hmm.
of brides and grooms and wedding parties, and one of the bridesmaids said, when I get married, and I don't even have a boyfriend right now, but you're my photographer. And
Yeah.
5 years later, she was actually marrying the brother of the bride from that wedding. So I knew the whole wedding party on both sides
Yeah.
and both sets of parents. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a really fun day. So what I love about this and what I'm hearing is, and I relate to this a lot, is being of service
Mm-hmm.
as a what's the word that everybody low key
Yeah.
that's the term, a low key wedding coordinator,
Yeah.
um like not the full thing, but I hear that you do a lot of things that a wedding coordinator would do. And I don't know about you, but I actually usually preferred weddings without the wedding coordinators because sometimes they would get in my way. Do you have
Oh,
thoughts?
sure. Yeah.
Or we'd be like at odds because I'd be like, no, we really need the time like this because photographers, we're there from the first glimmer, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from the planning part to at least the garter and bouquet, and we know what we need, and we're seeing everything and we're photographing everything. Um, so I mean, sometimes it's great to have a wedding coordinator that I know. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, I think wedding coordinators are helpful if they know their lane.
Mm,
Um, I don't know that I've probably done, we'll say 20 weddings with a coordinator.
mm,
We don't do a lot. I don't do a lot with coordinators. And I don't know if it's our area. Like I don't hear a lot of day of coordinators are starting to become more popular, but
mm,
not like full-time wedding coordinators.
right.
And it just maybe hasn't made it here.
Yeah,
Things start on the outside and move their way in, and
right. And it could be the economics,
yeah.
your average wedding.
Hmm.
Um, so uh back to the 90-day fiance weddings. Um, it's hard to watch them. And one of the main reasons is because nobody there were like three weddings last night that I watched, and last week there were two. And nobody told any of the brides to hold their flowers down as they were coming up the aisle so you could see their beautiful dresses.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And like that's always just before I come up the aisle to get them, I make sure that that
Uh-huh.
they're holding it in a way that photographs well
Yep.
and that shows off this gorgeous, gorgeous gown. One of them had this ginormous bouquet, and she held it in the hand that she had it holding her dad as well. And like she was dwarfed
Yeah.
with that. So yeah.
Oh my,
Oh
yeah.
my true confessions. I still love a wedding dress. I watch it say yes to the dress sometimes.
Hmm.
Because there's just something magical about that.
There is. Yeah, I would agree.
So why did you choose weddings as I know you do other things, but
Hmm.
why weddings?
That's an excellent question. I have no idea. Well, when I was in college, I swore I would never photograph a wedding. I was like, that will never be me. And I remember in my business, because I had to take one business of photography class, we had to make like a price list and like make packages for weddings and put together a wedding brochure. And I was like, well, this is stupid. I'm never going to do this. But when I was looking for a job, when I first got out of school, I ended up moving here to Lincoln, Nebraska, and there's not a big commercial photography industry here as I had hoped. Um, I moved here to marry my husband, and that was fine. But I was actually at Heart of America, which is like it was a PPA conference that was 4 states. So I walked into the Nebraska hospitality suite, bellied up to the bar, and just started talking to some guy. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you're moving to Lincoln here. Call this guy." And that guy happened to be a wedding photographer, and he was like, "I'll hire you as an assistant." And that's how I learned. I was the film girl for a long time, and that's it was amazing because he was the top wedding photographer in Lincoln. So we did lots of big name, just
Mm.
huge fancy weddings. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
he also taught me how to be very professional. Like he had a lot of rules that I definitely enjoyed learning and has made me what I feel like a step above most photographers in the fact that you think about the bride and groom and you do all these things for them. But also, like, I normally don't eat at a wedding because I think that about the same time that you're going through the buffet line, if people see you going through the buffet line, then they're like, oh, you're like a guest. Like it puts you at the same level as a guest. I know this isn't a very popular opinion, but I myself can't bring myself to eat at a wedding because I feel like then I'm at that same level as a guest. Like he had a rule that no one should ever see you eating or drinking anything.
Mm.
And like if we were anywhere, we had to have our jackets on. Like we had to wear a suit every Saturday, every wedding we wore a suit, and no one could see you with your jacket off except for the bride and groom when we were doing the bride and groom portraits and it was hot. I mean, so all these things have like built up to this, like help me realize. And some of those things, like I don't wear a suit now because like if you showed up in a suit now, people would be like, are you going to a funeral or something? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
But I always wear dress pants, no matter what the bride has told me the the dress code is, because you're representing yourself.
Hmm.
And so you need to be representing the highest level of yourself. So I'm always wearing dress pants and I always wear black
Hmm.
unless I have had two weddings where there was a specific no one was to be wearing black dress code
Mm.
because the bride was wearing black and she didn't want anyone else to be wearing black.
Oh, fun.
So it was across the board. No one wears black. So that day I had to like, it was a struggle. I was like, am I okay putting on this gray pants and this pink shirt or whatever? You know, like I can't remember what
Yeah.
I wore, but I remember being like, this doesn't feel right.
Hmm.
But that so just those professional skills
Hmm.
and then to always learn the parents' names
Oh,
and address them by name as much as possible. And then before you leave, you always go and say goodbye to the bride and groom, but go and check in with the parents as well.
yeah.
And that puts, and I mean, like actually the last wedding I photographed, I was walking out and I went over and told the parents goodbye and said, oh, just checking to see if there's anything you want to make sure I got. And no, everything's great. Thank you so much. We have 3 more kids that will be getting married. So we look forward to seeing you at all 3 of those. I mean, like, and that's because I learned their name and I'm
Mhm.
slightly dyslexic. So learning names is really hard. And sometimes I call them by the wrong name, but they're impressed that I'm trying.
I'm laughing because one of my most embarrassing, but it worked out okay. I'd had a date with the guy that I ended up dating for 3 years, the night before the wedding, and I called the groom his name all day long. But
Yep.
they they still hired me for family portraits and things like that. And I was like, I can't help it.
Yep. Yeah, that's a
Names.
pretty
Yeah.
common thing for me to do. But
Yes. So I just, my own thing about food is I'm not capable of going a whole day without food.
mhm.
And I also physically need to be seated near the bride and groom during the reception so I can get to them in a hurry.
Yep.
So for me, it was part of my contract. And, I just, plus, I would meet people at the table that I would have great conversations with and often, you know, get a family portrait out of it
Yeah.
or something. So it just physically I
Oh
can't
yeah.
I can't do it. And but my my tip is it has to be talked about in advance.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. And I often have people ask me about it. And I think not thankfully, that's not the right word. I have dietary restrictions. So it's very easy for me to push it off. But I
mhm.
also carry food with me.
Uh-huh.
So then like during dinner, if everything's in one location, then during dinner I'll like sit behind the DJ booth, which is most of the time close to the head table,
Hmm.
and eat my sandwich that I brought with me. So if I need it, but
Yeah.
if we are changing locations between, then we have a whole cooler in the car, and
Hmm.
my assistant and I mean, she knows as soon as we get in there, she's pulling out the cheese and she's pulling out the
Yeah.
sandwich
Here
and
we
she's
go.
pulling out a cold drink. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And truthfully, it's not like um chicken surprise
Right.
is
Exactly.
is something I'm going to miss out. That I had a few memorable meals over my 12 years doing
Mhm.
weddings, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we,
Yes.
we got to take care of ourselves, but at the same time, staying professional
Uh-huh.
um, is very important. So, okay, so what I'm hearing is it was one of those happy accidents where when you went
Yep.
uh, you got introduced to a very professional high-end photographer. And so you saw how it was done and how to do it well. And then it just kind of one thing led to another. Is that?
hmm Yeah, and there was a couple years in there that I was not doing as many weddings. I used to do a lot more newborns, and
Hmm.
then as my clientele kind of aged,
Hmm.
um, and I got tired of doing newborns, I started taking some different avenues, and then yeah, I fell back into weddings, and I was like, oh, I really do like this. Like I love this,
Hmm.
and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I could do mine over again, my whole career life, which no, I can't, um, I would have been more proactive at retaining those clients when they had their babies,
hmm
um, when they had um, family reunions, things like
Yeah.
that. Because
Yeah.
doing weddings is a great way, even if you're specializing in it, you can let them know you do other things. You're
Oh
just not
yeah.
necessarily marketing those other things, or you might be. So I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Well, we are almost out of time.
Okay.
Boo-hoo.
I know.
So I have the question and another question.
Okay.
So A, I know that you're available to speak
Hmm.
to photography chapters or other opportunities. So
Yes.
how would people get in touch with you? Or they might just have questions. So what's the best way to
Yeah.
get in touch with you?
I would say that you can either email me through my website, which is jennygegg.com,
Spell that?
JENNYGEGG.com. I married
Okay.
into that name and I'm not 100% sure I should have used it. It's kind of hard to get people to like say it, gag,
It's
but
okay.
uh,
It's
it worked out.
worked.
Yeah. Or you could also find me on Facebook uh, there as well. My business is jennygeggphotography.com. Or, well, no, wait, Jenny Gegg Photography is the Facebook, sorry.
Great. Okay. So question number two is uh, just an opportunity to either say something that you might think, oh, I wish I'd have told them about this, or just have a parting thought for people to take away.
Oh, wow, that's a lot to say. Um,
One or the other.
okay. Well, I would say, I think I would just reiterate that when you're a photographer, and I think that maybe a lot of photographers can relate to this, but if you don't love what you're doing, don't do it because it's not worth the emotional strain on yourself to force yourself into doing something you don't enjoy. So if you don't enjoy weddings, don't do them. If you don't enjoy babies, and this is something I've learned because I literally photograph. I always when people ask me what I photograph, I just reply yes.
Mm.
Because I haven't found too many things. What I do know is I don't like doing posed babies. I do in-home newborn sessions where it's in your house, in your nursery with your stuff. I'm not bringing anything. I might bring, nope, nothing. I don't even bring anything.
Uh-huh.
But the other part of that is that then my other parting advice would be to do whatever you need to do to connect with your client.
Mm.
Don't um like just connect with them, whether it's become a champion of small talk if that's not your strong suit, or I quickly found that the number of pieces of equipment I have between me and my client
Mm.
cuts my connection with them by each piece. So I will use a flash if I need to use a flash. I will use lights if I need to use the lights because that's what's needed for the scenario. But every time I put one of, I think about that every time I put one of those pieces of equipment between me and them. So if you are just starting a portrait session with someone that you're not comfortable with, don't put any pieces of equipment but except your camera between you and your client so that then they build a confidence and comfortability with you and
Mhm.
then start adding in the flash and the light and the things like that
Mm.
because that's the connection that will make your pictures shine when they feel comfortable and at ease with
Right,
you.
right, right.
Mhm.
That's great advice. So everyone stay tuned for my little quick wrap up. Jenny, 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 thank you so much, Miss
Thank you.
Person. I look forward. I hope you're a person that goes to imaging, that we can hang out together next
Yeah,
in San Antonio. No, um, Nashville. Yeah.
Nashville. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much. This has been a joy.
Thank you.
Well, I said goodbye to Miss Jenny, and I'm going to see if I can wrap up a little about how to make weddings fun. And her basic concept is to think about the experience that the couples and everybody at the wedding will be having, what you can create to make them feel great, to have a very positive feeling about you, to be there for them. And even the little things can make a big difference. One thing she said was to build in a timeline that has a cushion. The other is to be somewhat flexible. So if that timeline gets a little mixed up, go do something else. Uh, Number three, I liked, which is there was that commercial that said, "Don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them see you frustrated. If things are running late, if things aren't the way that you'd like it, keep it to yourself. Go take a walk. But also, don't be too chill and too relaxed. Bring excitement. Be excited. Get yourself ramped up on the way. Because I know I've found that when I'm too like Hakuna Matata on the way to a session, it's not always my best work because I'm a little, I haven't engaged all the synapses. Um, Number five, she said, be fun, make jokes, especially with the groomsmen. Um, have fun with them and let the women know they're beautiful. Number six is bringing an assistant can be helpful, not as a second shooter, but as someone to help everything go smoother, take some burden off of the photographer. And number seven, she doesn't let anyone be around photographing the bride and groom portraits or the first look because people get nervous. And when there's too many people around, and then a fun idea, number eight, at the reception, a photo dash where the bride and groom go from table to table, and the DJ or band leader facilitates it so that you get as many people with the bride and groom as possible. And then carrying scissors and thread and Toms and anything that can help the day go better also makes us look really good. And she says, being attentive to the bride's needs, like carrying her plate in the buffet line, getting them something to drink, being a little bit of like the wedding coordinator. Um, so I really loved meeting her. She's very fun, and I can see that her brides and grooms probably just love her to death. So, well, and I love you to death. And if you want to connect with me, you can go to lucydumascoaching.com and find a way to get in touch. All right, that's it. Bye for now.